Vedanth and welcome to my podcast. Today, my guest is Elissa Lane, also known as Lissy. She's the co founder and CEO of Global Food Partners. Global Food Partners, or GFP, is a multinational consulting firm that works with food businesses to implement animal welfare in their supply chain. Hi, Lissy. Welcome to my show.
Hi, Vedan. Thank you for having me. I'm a big fan of your work and your podcast.
Thank you so much. So, Lucy, I'm curious to know what made you and your team start GFP.
That's a good question. So we started GFP, myself and two other co-founders, Jason and Sabina, to help companies like restaurants, hotels, supermarkets meet their animal welfare goals. So a lot of these companies now around the world have decided that they only want to serve foods like eggs and other animal products that come from animals that are treated better. So a lot of these companies need help to do this. And we decided to found Global Food Partners to be able to help them in Asia.
What are the goals that supermarkets and everything have?
A big goal that now a lot of the supermarkets have in Asia, even here in Singapore or in the United States or India or many other countries, is to only sell eggs from cage-free farms. They've decided that within a few years, in order for them to help animals and be more socially responsible, that they're only going to have in all of their supermarkets eggs from chickens, from hens that are not confined in battery cages.
So, GFP helps remove hens from battery cages. What are battery cages and why are they so bad?
In the egg industry, on farms where eggs are produced by laying hens, most of the animals, most of the laying hens that produce the eggs live in cages. And these cages are called battery cages. And they're small wire cages that keep, depends on the farm, but between 5 to 10 animals. And the chickens live in these cages for their whole lives. So usually between 1 to 2 years. They're called battery cages. And they basically can't move. They can't fully stretch their wings. So imagine if you lived, like for example, in an elevator with so many other people that you couldn't stretch your arms, you couldn't walk around, you couldn't play, you couldn't exercise, and you were just in that elevator your whole life, unable to really move.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is.
So, one of the things we can do to stop factory farming is to stop buying eggs from places that source from factory farms. If we do that, the store owner will say, go away, nobody's buying these eggs. Don't bring factory farmed eggs. Close those farms right now. Will that work? What else can we do?
That is exactly right. So when people start saying, no, I don't want these eggs from those types of farms where they use battery cages, then yeah, the store will stop selling them. So it's all about what we decide to support, if we want to buy it or not. So that's exactly right. So if we stop buying those eggs, then companies will stop selling them. And so yeah, you're right. A lot of people are deciding to not buy those types of eggs and only buy cage-free eggs. So where birds are not in battery cages. And a lot of people are also deciding to either reduce how many eggs they eat. So maybe instead of eating like an omelet for breakfast or scrambled eggs, they're eating something that doesn't have any eggs. So they're deciding to maybe 1 day a week not eat eggs, or 2 days a week Or a lot of people are also just saying, yeah, I don't want to eat any more eggs at all. So they're leaving eggs totally out of their diet.
I got the first example from a video when I was researching yesterday. What are the other animals in factory farms and what can we do to help them?
There are a lot of animals on factory farms. For example, there are cows on factory farms that produce milk and that produce meat. There are pigs on factory farms that produce pork, fish, chickens that produce meat. And there's a lot we can do. So it's similar to the example you used for eggs. So for example, we can go to a supermarket or we can go to a restaurant and we can say, you know what, I don't want to eat this chicken or this fish from a factory farm. And that sends a message to the owners and to farmers that we want animals that are treated better and not on factory farms. And the same thing with eggs is a lot of people are also saying, okay, one day a week, I'm not going to eat meat or I'm not going to eat meat at all. And that also helps animals as well that are on factory farms.
How do they store the fish inside a factory farm? Do they have a separate compartment with water?
So the fish are usually in big pools. So they're like factory farmed fish where you have millions and millions of fish in one space, similar to how maybe chickens are raised, and it's lots of animals in one spot in the water that are raised to produce fish for people to eat.
It's just like a chicken, very cramped.
Yes, it's very cramped.
Which is your favorite animal and why?
Well, as much as I love helping farm animals, I really love dogs. I love all dogs. They're very sweet and they're just full of love and they like to play. And my favorite dog in the whole world is a pit bull named Peppa. And she's my goddaughter. She lives in the United States and she's a very sweet dog. Very, very nervous and sensitive, but very loving when she gets to know a person.
What made you get into animal welfare? As a child, what did you want to be?
So I got into animal welfare when I was in high school. I think I was about 15, and I did a research project at school on hunting. And I started to learn about factory farming. So through my research on hunting, other issues came up, and I learned for the first time how most of our meat is produced and how our eggs are produced and all of the conditions on factory farms. So it was through that research that I got really interested in animal welfare and in helping animals in food production. I thought that the only way really to help animals was to become a veterinarian. So my plan was to actually become a veterinarian, but I didn't love science. I took some chemistry classes and biology, and I just wasn't the best at science. So I thought, maybe being a veterinarian isn't a good idea.
Were you vegan for your whole life?
No, I wasn't. So I became vegetarian when I was 15. And so I stopped eating fish and different types of meat. And then I became vegan when I was about 22 or so a bit later, 7 years later.
What are your hobbies?
Let's see. So one of my big hobbies is salsa dancing and bachata dancing, which is like a Latin dance. And I also really like hiking. I like being outdoors. And I really like to travel as well and to explore different cultures and to see the world.
What is your favorite food?
I love to eat, and I really like different foods from Asia. I love Indian food, I love Thai food, Chinese food. I would say my favorite is probably Thai food.
Even I love Indian and Thai. I love the Thai green curry.
Me too.
I love the fried tofu.
Me too.
And I like all Indian foods.
It's delicious, right? So many different kinds of food in India, and it's all so good.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you, Vedanth. It was really an honor to be here, and I'm excited to hear all your future podcasts.
Thank you. Dear listeners, follow my Facebook page, Curious Vedanth, to get updates on the upcoming episodes. To listen at leisure on your phone and get notified about future episodes, subscribe by searching for Curious Vedanth wherever you get your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and many more. You can also listen to my show on vedant.buzzsprout.com. Thank you for listening to Curious Vedanth. Don't forget to rate and please comment.